Peace, y'all, and Happy New Year. Today is Tuesday, February 17th. It is the very first day of the year, according to the ancient lunar calendar. And just hours ago, the moon eclipsed the sun as she rose in the sky. Y'all, this morning's new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius opened a portal called the Eclipse Corridor. It's a portal that runs from the North Node to the South Node, and that remains open for 2 weeks until the total lunar eclipse in Virgo on March 3rd. 3 days into this 2-week portal, on the morning of Friday, February 20th, that's 3 days from today, Saturn and Neptune meet in the very first degree of the zodiac. Their union creates another portal, one that lasts for 7 hours. Now, Saturn and Neptune meet in the sky every 36 years. So what makes this particular meeting so momentous is the fact that it takes place in the very first degree of Aries. That's the very first degree of the zodiac, the degree of the spring equinox in a pure creative energy. It's the degree that initiates grand new cycles. A conjunction of Saturn and Neptune in this very degree is so rare that astrologers have to look back 9,000 years to find a similar alignment. Y'all, let me break this down. Within the 2-week portal of karma and destiny created by the eclipses, we will be nested in another portal, a portal of pure potential energy created by the convergence of Saturn and Neptune at the very starting point of the zodiac. Add pure creative energy to the energy of destiny, and we can timeline jump into unprecedented paradigms of reality. We are in a major moment of transformation. And if that sounds a little abstract, let me make it mythic. Allow me to ground this moment in an ancient symbolic story from the culture of Yoruba. Lock in. Long ago, there was a town near the edge of the sea, and the town had what all towns have: markets, schools, laws, customs. The designers and builders of the town were revered. They were said to be pure channels of the force of ọbàtálá. Ọbàtálá is the eldest of the Orisha of Yoruba. He is the divine architect of the earthly realm. Through the energy of ọbàtálá, architects design. Business people sell their wares, elders codify law, and systems are implemented. In this way, communities take form, and in this town, the systems worked for a long time. The traditions held. But as is the way of things, over time the structures hardened. The rules remained and the rituals continued, yet the spirit inside them thinned. The people thought they were proud to honor the ways and traditions of their town, yet beneath the surface there was the dim awareness that they were stuck, held in place by old heads, old myths, old definitions of success and meaning. The young began to feel restless, and people wept without knowing why. What a people feel beneath the surface, that's for Yemaya to carry. Yemaya is the mother of the waters. She carries what is unconscious. She hears what the community refuses to name: the wounds, the ghosts, the dreams deferred. So Yemaya felt the grief, and her tide began to swell. At first, there were only small signs: fields flooding after ordinary rains, shorelines shifting, salt creeping into the soil. But then the waters rose. They overran the beaches. They poured into the marketplace. They touched the foundations. There was fear and fascination. Some people knew what was coming and they felt peace. Others called on ọbàtálá to restore order. They wanted ọbàtálá to reinforce the walls, to command the tide to retreat. Ọbàtálá came to the shoreline. He looked at the rising water, and he paid his respects to his sister Yemaya. He did not ask her to stop. He understood. It was time to release what had been built. Structure had completed its season, and it was time now to loosen the grip of what once worked. Yemaya's waters moved through the town. What was hollow dissolved. What was true endured. When the tide finally withdrew, the earth was red and raw. From the forest stepped Ogun, warrior of iron. There was no road where he stood, so he cut one with his sword. Ọbàtálá blessed his discipline. Yemaya blessed his heart. Ogun struck the ground, sparks flew, and a new path opened through the wilderness, and the people followed, and they rejoiced. Every culture across time and space carries a flood myth. Why? Because floods are more than natural events. They are archetypal memories. Coastlines shift. The tides take back the towns. And when they do, a cycle has completed. That's the moment we are in. A moment of cosmic reset. Whether you speak the language of astrology or not, beneath the plane of the ordinary and the mundane, there exists an imaginal realm, the realm of archetype, the realm of myth. When you attune to the realm of archetypes and myths, you begin to feel what time it really is. Not the time on your phone. I'm talking about the season of the soul. I'm talking about the moment we inhabit right now in this great cosmic journey as individuals and as a collective. We are standing at the shoreline. The waters are rising. Outdated structures within us and around us are dissolving. The waters of Neptune and Yemaya are washing away what no longer serves us. The only question is, what in you is ready to be forged? All right, y'all. Let's ground all this energy in the chart for Friday morning. I'm going to take y'all on a journey through the astrology of the Saturn-Neptune portal, and I'll do it as clearly as I possibly can. And also, it's okay if you don't understand everything just yet. Astrology is a language that we can learn through osmosis. So surrender to this journey and trust that you'll receive supportive messages for this shift that's already underway. Right off the top, I feel called to make a note about the timing. Neptune and Saturn are slow-moving planets. That's why this transit takes place over the course of 7 hours. So it begins at about 6:49 on Friday morning and lasts until about 1:49 on Friday afternoon. I invite you all to percolate on how you can make best use of this portal as we take in the chart by going around the wheel. Let's start with the sun. On Friday morning, the sun is in Pisces. The sun enters Pisces on the morning of Wednesday, February 18th, so that's tomorrow morning, which means that this conjunction on Friday between Saturn and Neptune takes place at the very beginning of Pisces season. And that's really beautiful because Neptune and Saturn have just left Pisces for Aries. So it's kind of like the sun is creating a supportive connection to the era that just ended. Next, we have the North Node in Pisces, and conjunct the North Node, we have Venus also in Pisces. When the North Node and Venus meet up in the sky, they create a powerful field that makes our desires more magnetic. Put simply, on Friday morning, we're in a window of time in which what we want wants us back with extra force. This is very potent manifestation energy, so be careful with what you wish for on Friday morning. Next, we have Mercury also in Pisces. It's creating a bridge to the stars of the day, the stars of the year, the stars of the decade, Saturn and Neptune in Aries. Note that Saturn and Neptune are both at 0 degrees 44 astrological minutes of Aries. Also, please notice that the moon is nearby in Aries. The moon corresponds to our emotional body, so it's supporting us in experiencing this transit at the level of the heart. Importantly, the moon is still in her new moon phase, so the new moon is still active during this Saturn-Neptune conjunction. And the moon itself is conjunct this conjunction. Y'all, this is gorgeous astrology. We are so deeply held and guided by the moon during this major moment. This is seed energy. It's womb energy. Next, we have Chiron in Aries. And then we have Uranus down here in Taurus. We have Jupiter over here in Cancer. The South Node over here in Virgo. Of course, she's opposite the North Node in Pisces. And as well, we have Pluto over here in Aquarius. And to complete the circle, we have Mars in Aquarius. That's the chart for Friday morning for this major conjunction between Saturn and Neptune in Aries. One of the important aspects of this chart is that there is gorgeous geometry between Pluto in the air sign of Aquarius here and Saturn and Neptune in the fire sign of Aries here, to Uranus in the earth sign of Taurus here, to Jupiter in the water sign of Cancer here. This is a grand minor quartet from air to fire to earth to water. It's a chain of activation that includes all the elements, and it looks like a wave cresting across the zodiac, a tide line rising across the chart. All right, y'all. If there's anything I hope y'all will take away from this video, it's that Friday morning is the moment of a great cosmic reset. The waters of Neptune and Yemaya rise up and clear away all the old, dead things. Through their waters, endless space is made for creation, and you emerge onto this field as Ogun. You are the dancer twirling fire in the dark. You are the magician who creates entire worlds on the strength of their belief. Saturn as a channel of ọbàtálá gives you the discipline. Neptune as a channel of yemaya gives you the vision. And the constellation of Aries gives you the courage to begin. So on Friday, during the 7 hours of this major conjunction, enter into ceremony. Even if you only take 11 minutes, 11 intentional minutes, close your eyes, slow your breath, visualize the timeline you are stepping into. As with all portals, conscious participation matters. I send y'all courage, clarity, compassion, and many blessings for this momentous portal. Until next time.